This is the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson. Exposure to negative press is always a good way to mitigate political risk. If everyone knows that a nation may be engaged in unfair trade practices, this will give vital information to foreign direct investors seeking to enter the markets of the offending nations. It is well known that China does all that it can to give an advantage to its people in the area of trade. There's nothing wrong with this. In fact, if they were not working to eke out each and every advantage, then this would be a political risk of inaction. The question is not if you're trying, but what you're doing. With over 20 complaints from the United States to the World Trade Organization, also known as the WTO, many of them against China, the impact of any actions by China that are not fair will be exposed. The same applies to the U.S. and any other WTO member. In my opinion, this lowers the political risk of doing business in China for the simple reason that they have voluntarily entered the WTO, are supposed to abide by its rules, and really do not want to look as if they are doing something that is contrary to the rules. Where they do not apply the rules properly and follow the rules is where the complaints come into play, and once the complaints are actually documented, known, and ruled upon by the WTO, this gives a snapshot in time of what China has done, what they may do, and provides a roadmap of things that you can look at as warning signs in the future. In other words, you have an indicator of the types of political risks that may arise due to trade policies that may be unfair. Every time a WTO complaint is adjudicated and ruled in favor of any nation against China, it raises awareness and the political risk of doing business. By the same token, it lowers political risk in that there is an independent body that China voluntarily joined, raising concerns that China knows must be addressed. Recently, the WTO ruled in favor of some of America's complaints against China's electronic payment market. China, the world's biggest merchandise exporter, we're looking at 10.4% in total, actually, is probably going to appeal this WTO ruling. Now, the merchandise exports led by China in Asia rose by 19% last year, and it was approximately $18.2 trillion. But according to the WTO, trade is getting a lot less because of some of the things that China has done in the past that are now being exposed by some of the WTO rulings. In other words, they're looking at exports being down around 4% by China in this electronics market because they have to address and have addressed some of the trade issues that the WTO has adjudicated that have been raised by other nations. It's already having an impact. The complaints are already having an impact on the way that China is conducting business. This is a good thing because it lowers the political risk of doing business in that particular market. They're already modifying their policies based upon these rulings. Secondly, the WTO rulings are followed by other import markets for Chinese electronic goods independent of the United States. However, the U.S. complaints and subsequent WTO victories will cause foreign direct investors in other nations to pull back and take precautions adverse to China's interest. The safety net of the WTO is slowly but surely lowering the political risk to foreign direct investment in China by simply doing its job, then publishing the rulings. Nationalism does not matter in this case. A French or Lithuanian foreign direct investor is well aware of the U.S. WTO victories against Chinese trade policies, and for them, this is a good thing. They are aware of what to avoid, what may happen, and what could happen. China, of course, is not benefiting from this global scrutiny. However, foreign direct investors, whether they be in the United States or Ukraine, are benefiting. They are benefiting from what I like to call the safety net of the WTO. This has been the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson.